Hollywood stars, it's Mrs. Woram. I hope you're doing well. We're going to continue reading our Toby story, which is by W. Bruce Cameron. And we are currently on chapter 12. Last time we were reading, Toby was offered up to a family. Do you think he'll go with them? Let's read to find out. Chapter 11. I brought the ball back to the man while he and Fran talked. The little kids seemed to be begging him for something, just like my brothers and sisters and I used to beg and whine for milk from my mother when we were hungry. Please, Daddy, can we? Please, let's take Toby, they kept saying. I knew they were talking about me, so I licked their ankles and knees and anything else I could reach. Well, I'll think about it, the man said. That's all I can say. Today's not a good day to decide anything, but I'll give it a thought. My new friends did not stay long after that. Once they had gone, Dorothy came out in her wheelchair, threw the ball for me a few more times. That was fun. It was nice to have so many people who wanted to play. Mona had to leave then. Swimming lessons, she said to me. We'll do more work tomorrow, okay, Toby? You're a good dog. You did good today with those kids. She kissed me goodbye and then I went away. I wandered around to see if I could find Eddie and some bacon. No luck. But a few of my other friends had treats for me in their pockets or little dishes next to their beds. Delicious. I stopped by the door of a room I had not been inside very often. I did not quite understand what people did in there. Sometimes they lay on tables and pulled on at ropes that were attached to heavy weights. Sometimes they were perched on old machines and turned pedals with their feet. Sometimes they even sat on the floor and moved their arms and legs around. It looked very sort of like playing, but it was far as I could tell, they were not having fun. Today I caught a familiar scent as I stood at the door, and I hurried to investigate. Granddad and Tyler. Granddad was leaning on the bars of the metal cage next to this very strange contraption. There was a long, thin, flat surface, sort of like a table, but only a few inches above the ground. I sniffed at it. It smelled rubbery. Some bars stuck up from one end with handles to hold. I wondered what was going on there and why Tyler and Granddad were both looking at it. Why do people spend so much time looking at things they cannot play with or eat? Granddad was frowning. His shoulders were hunched a little, and I recognized that his body was saying, he looked like I felt when Mona wanted me to do training and I'd rather play. Tyler was standing nearby. Come on, Granddad, he begged. Was Tyler trying to make Granddad do training? Did he needed some treats? That would probably help. I've got better things to do than walk and get nowhere, Granddad said gruffly. It's boring. So you're bored for 5 minutes, Tyler said. Please, Mom said you have to. I don't have to do anything your mother says, young man. Just 5 minutes. Granddad snorted. 1 minute, that's it. Then you and your mother stop pestering me. He put the walking cage to the side. Tyler took it and moved it away a little bit. Then Granddad stepped onto the flat, rubbery surface. I was about to leave since no one had treats or chicken here. Then something remarkable happened. The surface Granddad was standing on started to move. What is he on, friends? I was so surprised that I barked at it. Tyler laughed a little. Granddad looked down and smiled very briefly. His feet were moving. He was walking, but not going anywhere. This was strange. I needed to find out more. Where is he? Are you saying a treadmill? You're right. Good job. I jumped on the black surface right behind Granddad. It moved underneath me. I stared down at it astonished, and then suddenly I was falling off. I plopped down on the carpet behind the contraption. As Tyler laughed more, even Granddad chuckled. He was not quite so grumpy about this training now. I did not like being dumped off like that. I jumped back on behind Granddad, trying to catch up with his feet. It was hard. Every time I thought I made the surface would pull me back. Quickly, I learned that I had to keep my feet moving. If I did that, I didn't get whisked away or deposited onto the carpet. It was like running with Tyler and the boys, except that we weren't outside with all the good smells. Still, it was fun. Granddad was walking and I was walking, and we were walking together. I barked at him and laughed. Good dog, Toby, Tyler said. What's going on here? Asked a voice behind him. I looked over. There was Fran. I cannot spare her much attention, though. So there they are on the treadmill. If I stopped concentrating on my feet, I'd start to slide away from Granddad. Toby's doing the treadmill with Grandfather, Tyler said. They've been on there for 10 minutes already. 10 minutes? Really? Fran said. She sounded surprised. Enough, Granddad said. He was starting to breathe a little heavy, just like Tyler did when he ran. The black surface under our feet slowed down and stopped. I guess that meant we were done. I hopped off and Granddad climbed down more slowly. Tyler had his walking cage ready for him. Good boy, Toby, Tyler said. Maybe you should get on the treadmill with him every time. Well, it was more interesting with Toby, Granddad admitted. After that, I did treadmill with Granddad most days. When my other friends saw us playing, they wanted to do the treadmill with them too. I would walk with lots of people, the surface moving under us. Sometimes I'd even wait by the machine until a friend came along. Want to walk, Toby? He or she would say, and get on with me. I liked doing the treadmill. It was almost as fun as bringing the ball back to Dorothy or playing chase in the halls with Mona. Sometimes Fran came to watch me. She'd stand with her arms folded as I trotted along next to my friends. As I lay in my bed at night, though, I wondered what all the games I played. When I walked on the treadmill with Granddad, I felt like I was his dog. When I chased the ball with Dorothy and she stroked my ears as hers, when I was hers, when Tyler and I ran with the other boys, it seemed like I was his. Most often, I was Mona's dog when we did the training or played chase, but it didn't seem right for me to belong to all these people at once. A dog was meant to be with people. I knew that deep down. That's why I left my first family. Dogs and people are supposed to be together. But how could I belong to one person after another? Whose dog was I really? Granddad's? Dorothy's? Mona's? Tyler's? Or Patsy's? When I lay there in the dark, these thoughts would begin to bother me as much as my feet used to. Then I'd hop up, go into the dimly light hallways. It could be hard to find a friend at night. The room with the couches and the black box with the picture on it was always quiet and empty. So was the treadmill room, and lots of doors were closed. I'd wander restlessly, sniffing at each door as I came to, until one or another gave way under my paw or my nose. And then I'd go in and see if a friend was inside. Laying in the bed, I would hop up and curl up into a ball near the person's feet, and after a while, I'd fall asleep. But sleeping didn't make the thoughts go away, not entirely. Whom did I truly belong to? Most mornings, Mona came to find me, but after the day I had been a good dog for playing with the kids on the lawn, it was Patsy who came and took me out and brought me my breakfast. Then she called me to come. I trotted at her heels. We came to a room where Mona was laying on a bed. That was funny. It was my other friends like Granddad and Dorothy who lay on beds, not usually Mona. I ran up to the bed with my tail wagging. What's going on? I could smell the clean white sheets with their soapy smell, and of course the smell of Mona herself, warm and welcoming and loving. Then my tail started to beat even faster. I could smell treats too. Mona had treats. I jumped up on the bed, sniffed all around, trying to find them. Mona did not move. Lie still, Toby, Patsy said firmly. Were there those treats? I sniffed Mona's hands. Not there. I buried my nose into her clothes. Lie still. Patsy pushed my rear end so that my legs would fold under me. That reminded me we were playing training, obviously, and I knew about training. I did what a person said, and then I came for the treats. Treats! So exciting. I was thinking so much about the treats that I couldn't quite remember what Patsy had asked me to do. Lie, wasn't it? I was already sitting, so I was halfway there. I stretched my front legs out flat onto the bed for 2 seconds, and then I bounced back up. There, I did it. Lie. Treat. Now, no treat. Mona still didn't move. He's not getting it, Patsy said with a sigh. Something else. I was supposed to do something else. I tried to sit. I drooled a little. Mona sighed. I remember Eddie's tricks, and I stuck a paw up in the air. There. This time I was supposed to be. It's done. But it seemed like I hadn't. The smell of the treats was all around me, making me quiver with excitement, but nobody was offering me any. And Mona still wasn't moving. Why wasn't she moving? Didn't she want to play? Was something wrong? Toby, lie, Patsy said. But I interrupted her. I remembered my last trick Eddie had taught me, and that was speak. I barked once. Then I did it a few times in case Mona and Patsy hadn't noticed. The door to our room swung open, and Mona sat up on the bed. I jumped up on her lap, nosing around for the treats. Was she going to keep them all for herself? So unfair. Fran stood in the doorway, looking irritated. Why is the dog barking? She asked. We're training him, Mona said nervously. He just kind of got confused. Training him? Why? You know I said he needs to go to a new home. We're just, Mona began. Patsy put her hand on her shoulder. Mona wanted to keep working with him while we look for a new home, she said calmly to Fran. Did you put the ad in the newspaper? Fran asked. Yes, I did. Nobody's called yet. Excuse me, said a voice behind Fran. Is Toby in there? It was Tyler. He was wearing shorts, white shoes with thick rubbery soles. I looked like he went running. Since Mona had forgotten about the training properly, I jumped off the bed and dodged past Fran's high heels to sniff at Tyler's shoes. They smelled like rubber, dirt, trash, all those amazing things outside. I loved his shoes. I licked them happily. Can Toby come out for a run? Tyler asked, looking from Fran to Patsy to Mona. If that's okay. A run? Fran looked confused. Yeah, he runs with me sometimes. All the boys in the club really like it when he comes. They sent me to ask. So he runs with you? Fran gave Patsy a funny look. Would you like to keep him? She asked Tyler. Tyler had dropped down to one knee to greet me properly, scratching around my neck and rubbing my hands along my back, and I wiggled with pleasure. No, I can't. We're only staying up here for the summer to get near my grandfather, and the place where we're living says no pets. He's a great dog, though. Someday I want one like him. Too bad. But take him for a run by all means, Fran said. He seems to have plenty of energy. Mona slipped off the bed. I'll get his leash. I'll be outside stretching, Tyler said. Thanks for letting Toby come with me. He laughed and Mona called to me to go with her. That boy, he's got a crush, doesn't he? I heard Fran say to Patsy as I followed Mona down the hall. Mona took me outside and handed my leash to Tyler. She didn't give me a treat for doing come properly, though. Maybe she forgot because her heart was beating quickly. Her face was hot, as if she'd been running, too. This time, I ran with my leash on, which was a little different from before, but it was still fantastic. We passed so many trash cans, I barked at a cat who sped away and jumped up on the railing of a porch. I even saw one of those bouncy animals. I heard Tyler calling them rabbits, darting into a bush. So exciting. Tyler ran closer to the other boys, and I did not have to choose between sticking with the pack or staying with my friend. I like that. When we got back, he took me to the front door and gave my leash to Mona instead of leaving me to wiggle through the hole in the fence. Mona seemed to know what I needed. She led me straight to the water dish and watched as I gulped down half of it. It was so refreshing. Good run, Toby, she asked as I lifted up my head and I shook. So drops of water ran from my muzzle, sprayed into all directions. But we have to keep training, she told me. Her voice was serious. We don't have much time. Let's go do it again. You're a smart dog, Toby. You'll get this. I hope. I wagged for smart dog in case it was anything like good dog. Mona kept my leash on and took me down the hall. Patsy was waiting for us. Can we go in and see Dorothy? Mona asked her mother. She's not having a good day, Patsy answered. She's in some pain. She does want to see Toby. It's worth a try. They took me in their room, and my friend Dorothy was laying on a bed just like Mona had been earlier. Hi, Dorothy, Mona said. Do you want to see Toby? Could he lay with you for a little bit? Yes, Dorothy said from her bed. Her voice sounded soft. Well, I'm not sure how long he'll stay, Mona said, but I'll try. He likes you. Gently, she lifted me up and put me on the bed by Dorothy's side. I sniffed her face. She smelled tired and unhappy. I remember how I felt when my feet had been so sore that all I wanted to do was sleep. Maybe Dorothy's feet were hurting her just like mine used to. Her soft, gentle hand came up to rub my ears with her light touch. Good boy, Toby, she said. I licked her fingers, then I yawned. After such a long run, my legs were tired. I curled up in a ball right next to Dorothy's side. It was good to feel her warmth along my back, just as I used to feel the closeness of my mother and litter mates when we would sleep all huddled together. Look, he's doing it, Mona whispered, delighted. I yawned again and closed my eyes. Time for a nap. It was nice to nap with a friend. Oh, good boy, Toby, I heard Mona say. I wagged once for being a good boy, and then I fell asleep. After a while, I didn't really know how long, I felt myself slowly waking up. First, my ears were aware of Dorothy's steady, slow breathing. Then my nose picked up her scent, and Mona's and Patsy's and Fran's nearby. See, he's doing really well, I heard Patsy say softly. Dorothy was having trouble getting any rest. With Toby by her side, she drifted right off. I heard Fran say. He's such a good dog, Mona said. I knew those words. My eyes opened to take in my three friends, and I wagged. Good dog, Toby, Mona said again. She pulled a bag of treats out of her pocket in her jeans. So that's where they were hiding them. And poured several into her palm. She offered them for me, and her voice was warm and happy. Such a good lie still, she praised me. I loved to hear her voice like that, but I had no idea why she was bringing up lie still again. I was happy to have the treats, though. After I gobbled them up, I stood up on the bed and stretched. Careful, Toby. Mona picked me up cautiously. Don't wake Dorothy. She put me on the ground and I shook all over. I felt good after my long run and my nap. It was probably time to go and look for Eddie. He might have some bacon. I dodged between Fran's feet and she let out a startled noise. Then I tore out of the room and dashed down the hall, dodging around some of my friends walking with their metal cages and one chair with wheels. Oh, Toby, I heard Mona groan, and she played chase with me all the way to the kitchen. Toby did such a great thing by sleeping with Dorothy. I really, really hope that he's proving himself to Fran. Maybe Fran will see that the residents really do need Toby there. All right, friends, until next time. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.